And she's like, "You're not going anywhere. We're calling your mother." Okay, so to get this little set and setting done, this was in 7th grade. 7th grade little me. I believe this was a Friday. And every day I went to school. I walked to school because I could. And it was just like a block or two away. And at the time, I was really into parkour. I don't know why, but I feel like it was just something that everybody had, especially boys at my school, had an obsession with. There's this thing that we call the green belt, or it's pretty much just a wood chip trail where a lot of people like to run. And it cuts through just about half of the city, the small town. And since we lived on a hill, all the wood chips couldn't just be slanted. It was all kept flat by a little wall. In order to get to the other side, I guess it would be the west side of that chip trail, you have to walk down little paved ramps like this. So if this is the trail, there's a little ramp that goes right here that you walk down, if that makes any sense. And there was always a fence right here. And they had one of those paved pathways probably every 4 or 5 streets. And I was lucky enough that there was one on my street. So I was walking down and I was gonna jump over the fence like I always have. I've been doing this for probably the past couple months, probably like 4 or 5 months. So I considered myself a professional at jumping this fence. So I jumped the fence, and it's this really old, really shitty fence. It's made out of like rotting wood, really rusty nails. It's not a very well built fence. And it had rained the night before. And me being a dummy little 7th grader, I put my foot on it just to kind of vault over it, as a natural parkour man would, you know. And I slip. I slip on it and I fall over the fence. And I land on my head on the concrete and I get knocked out. Just absolutely out cold. I was wearing a very heavy backpack and I landed on the back of my head and the top of my backpack. So I just stayed there. I didn't like fall over anything. I got knocked out and stayed upside down with my feet just dangling in the air. And so I get woken up by this woman, this family of 2 kids and a mom going to school. And they obviously see a little child passed out on the pavement and is like, I might want to help that child. So they help me reorient myself. And at this point, she checks if I'm okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I go to get up and I bring my left leg up. And she sees a massive gash, like this deep and like this long, on my calf right here. And she's like, "You're not going anywhere. We're calling your mother." And so what happened is when I fell over the fence and my left calf, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this. You guys are going to be able to see this on stream. I'm going to try my hardest to show you. Here. Can you guys see that? Right there? That's the scar left over. What happened is when I fell over the fence, I punctured my calf with a rusty nail and just ripped my calf open. And I don't know how I didn't feel this or notice this. Probably the adrenaline. But I call my mom. She drives on down. We call an ambulance and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm chilling. I can walk on it and stuff." So I go into my mom's car and I'm just in my mom's car going to the hospital because I need to get this stitched up. And I'm in the passenger seat and everything hits me all at once. The adrenaline starts to kind of wear off and I'm about to like pass out from pain. And I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I'm not feeling so good." Luckily, the hospital is only maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum from where I fell over, where I fumbled. So we make it to the hospital, and I don't know what the process is, but we get into the doctor's laboratory or whatever, the area where they do the stitches. And I think it was 23 stitches in my calf. 23. That's a lot of stitches. Like a lot of stitches. If you're gonna take anything away from this story, it's make sure you fall over a fence and nearly kill yourself on a Friday, because Fridays are the days that we have spelling tests, and so I didn't have to take the spelling test that day and I got a 100%.